Morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 19th of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, yesterday I was talking about doing a retest. I was thinking that would probably happen yesterday, but it looks like it's going to be here today instead. But what this means is that we're not going to get a 60-minute buy signal here, and we're not going to get one on NQ. And actually, the two on RTY and YM both failed, as both of these have already made lower lows this morning. So that leaves us with no positive divergence on the hourly chart. We're pretty close to a low retest. I posted these saying these look like flags, and well, they did look like flags, and they're performing like flags so far as well. Chances are we're going to see a retest of this low on NQ. We're pretty close to that, and chances are we're going to see that too. RTY has already gone lower. And YM has already gone lower, and we're pretty close to the head and shoulder target I was saying I was still expecting to get hit, and that is only slightly below where we are now. We've got another possible 60-minute positive divergence, but I am thinking we might retest the lows and go a bit lower, so we'll see. On DAX, no current divergence. ESDX, no current divergence. Pretty close to the lows of the last weeks, which includes the weeks before and after the Trump victory. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. All right, on SPX, we've got an RSI 14 buy signal that's reached the possible near miss target. The RSI 5 ones from yesterday made target 2. So on the 15 minutes, we're out of signals on SPX and on the Qs. Where we've done exactly the same. We've still got open 15-minute RSI 14 buy signals on Dow and on the Russell. But we've lost them on the others. In terms of the daily bands, we spent another day just above the daily middle band on SPX, on Qs, and we came back up to it and basically closed on it. But as we'd already seen a break below, that was basically just a close on. It was not a rejection. We did not get above the daily middle bands. So that's not actually looking that bullish, although we still do have that holding of support on SPX. On Dyer, where we've got obviously some way to go, although obviously at the open this morning would have got some of that way, some way to go to the daily middle band, which I've got at 49.24, and on IWM. But if we are going to see further downside, then this isn't a bad position to see that from, and we might see that today. Ideally, what we do is we'll actually do some damage to the other Bollinger Bands today, and then break up and reject back over it tomorrow. We could get some nice hourly buy signals on the RTH charts if we do that. IWM not as far above the daily middle band as the as Dow is. I've got that at 227.06 at the close yesterday, and I've got IWM at 227.81. It may well open below it today. But if we are going to see some more downside, today would be a pretty good day to do that. Looking at ES, you can see that we're now retesting the low. That's not going to give us any 60-minute positive divergence, but see that in RTH, and that'll start giving us some hourly divergence on the RTH charts. All right, let's have a look at, hang on, wait a second. Sorry, let's move that back to where it's supposed to be. Okay. I forgot. Let's have a quick look at DAX and Nikkei. Right, DAX is still holding below the daily middle band and rejecting at it again. On Nikkei, Nikkei is significantly below the daily middle band as well. I'm still wondering about this as a potential topping pattern. I'm not thinking it's likely to play out. But if we start seeing sustained breaks below the daily middle bands on the US indices, then that will change the game somewhat. We still do have a strong seasonal lean, which is bullish into December. And until we see some evidence to say that we're not going to be going that way, I'll be expecting that to the lower. All right, let's have a look at DX, where we're still likely forming a bull flag, and I'm still expecting to see a retest of this high. That could be the second high of a double top. We will have to see. ZB, we've got an interesting setup on the TNX chart where we've got the flag is breaking up very slightly, but we do have a nice looking double top on TNX, which is basically this double bottom on ZB. I'm thinking that might play out. We might see a decent rally on ZB before a decision is made. If we see a sustained break up over about the 118.12 area, then I'd be looking for a target which should be in about the 121 area. We shall see. All right, CL. Trying to break up from a little double bottom here. I've got targets up there in the 60 to 72 area. Wouldn't be surprised to see this fail lower. We've still got an open target at 63.57. NG is very, very close to rolling into the next contract, and the difference between the two contracts at the moment is actually it's about 21. So this is going to, as soon as we roll into the January contract, this is going to go up 21, and that might give us a retest of this high here at 3.4, although on the January chart that won't be there, of course. So I don't really pay a lot of attention to those. I'm mainly looking at the bigger picture charts. So where we could still see a break up here, but what I would say is the last of the big winter rolls increasing the price on natural gas is this one that's coming up. After that, we start dropping again. And at the moment, we're looking like a 15-cent drop into February, and then a 27-cent drop into March. So you see where I'm going with this. And then a marginal drop into April. So prices tend to trend down into April, where we often see the low for the year. All right, GC. Much depends on what's happening on the dollar. We've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing here, and if the dollar's going to retest the high, makes sense that we would see some retracement here. On SI, 60-minute sell signal is already fixed. HG looks like a flag or a bearish flag or triangle forming. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this low. Looking at KC, we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. I think we're looking at some retracement, wondering about a test of the weekly pivot at 274. We don't really have any lower targets. This looks like a head and shoulders forming, but because of this little high here, it isn't one. All right, SB. SB heading back up to the monthly pivot and declining resistance, which is just above it. Break above that, and we should do what we've been building up to in almost a couple of months now, which is a retest of this high here in the 23.40 area. All right, looking at CC, we've seen a bit of a pullback. Haven't made the sell signal target yet, but weekly pivot is holding a support so far. Wondering about an ABC, go a bit lower, make that target, then probably return to the high. ZW, I'm leaning towards seeing a bit lower on all of the grains, but I've got to say wheat had a nice day yesterday. Corn had a very nice day yesterday, given that we had a head and shoulders target down here, and that's now failed with a target back up at a retest of this high here at 435. On soy, nice little rally, looks like a bear flag forming, and cotton going lower, and I think this may be getting down into the area where I was looking for a low. I'll be checking that tonight. On lumber, lumber looks like a bull flag forming. Live cattle trying to break up from this falling wedge. Not the best bull flag in the world, but not a bad one either. And lean hogs. Lean hogs is trying to break down below the monthly pivot to get to these double top targets, which I've got in the basically the 81 to 81.25 area, I think. 80.9 to 81.25. So leaning towards seeing that target made as long as we're holding below the weekly pivot. All right, great. In that case, let's have a quick review and have a look at questions. On ES, is it still likely to retest the ATH or downtrend starting now? I'm expecting the overall lean into Christmas to be bullish, and I'm expecting to see a couple of tests of the all-time high in that time. Even if we are forming a larger high here, I'd expect to see some sign of that, probably involving, a new all-time high, if we're going to do a double top, which ES would be tending to do about 70% of the time, or to form a head and shoulders, and you can see on ES, the head and shoulder neckline there. We've gone a bit lower here. I'm thinking another day's downside today, and then we've got a good opportunity to break back up tomorrow, and I think we may well do that. For today, as I said, this isn't a bad setup for another leg down, and I think we might be starting that. We're basically retesting the low on NG now, retesting the low on ES we've just done, and RTY and YM are heading down, and we will see where that lands. I'm thinking we might break the daily middle bands today, but if so, the perfect time to break up back above them and go back up into the high retest would be then. And I'm thinking we may well get that. We shall see. But first, we're going to do the low retest, which we're doing at the moment, and then we'll see how it goes. Are we going to get any positive divergence on the hourly charts? Let's have a quick look. Looking at SPX, yes, we'll get positive divergence. Now, normally, this would be a little light. I'd be expecting this to head down into the 30 area on the RSI 14. But yeah, we'll have positive divergence as soon as we open up with the lower low. And on the Qs, we will have the same. On Dia, we will have it not quite the same. No, we didn't quite reach the 30 level on this. But IWM, I suspect we will have it as well. Let's just have a quick check. Yeah, so basically we're looking at quite a lot of positive divergence on the hourly charts as soon as we retest all these lows. So at the moment, it looks like we may start with that positive divergence on all of them. I'd expect to see a bit lower, but at that stage, I'm on watch to see when this is going to turn back up, and we'll see. When would be a signal that metals are not bouncing and continuing the uptrend? I think, well, one thing I'm comfortable about with a big low on metals at the moment is we haven't got any positive divergence. Now, we could get that, and a rally now might be setting up a low retest to set up that divergence. We could see a low any time here, but I think more often than not, I'd expect to see some signals here. And while we are very oversold, I'd really be leaning towards a retest to set up that positive divergence. We could do that right now, but I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of 25.41. I'm not seeing anything compelling that saying that the dollar is about to turn back down hard. Some indications, an opportunity certainly, but nothing particularly compelling. So, because really, that could use some negative divergence on the daily as well. We will see. Overall, for the next few months, I'm bullish gold. We've already made the sell signal target that I was talking about when we reached the top of the current run. I think this is just a bullish retracement. But it could be a bullish retracement for a while longer. Apart from anything else, we might be forming a bull flag. We could do A, B, C. And that wouldn't be an unusual way to do it. So I think in terms of are we going back up into the retest of the high, it's way too early to call that on metals. I'm not seeing any strong sign of it, and I wouldn't call it without seeing some sign. I haven't got the patterns, I haven't got the divergences yet. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. We will see how it goes today. But are we looking at a big top here? Personally, I think no. Or at least we've got no real sign of it yet. We'd need quite a lot more evidence before I'd be calling one of those before Christmas. I'm expecting to see that after Christmas, if we see a big top there at all. We shall see how it goes. All right, cheers. Great. Catch you tomorrow, guys. And should be an interesting day today.